Hello, and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is, I believe, part 24 or 25. I think 24 of our initial run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time, we went through the second half of Ymir Ilim, I'm assuming it's pronounced. We started at the Spiral Rise and made it to wherever we made it to. I believe this one. Could be wrong about that. But we got some good stuff. We got Lita's sword, the weapon of Needle Knight Lita. We got the Horned Warrior's greatsword. We got Freya's greatsword. We got Dane's footwork, a new weapon class in hand-to-hand. We also got Verdigris Great Shield, a great shield with 82 guard boost, which is extremely high. We also got Lita's armor, just the chest piece, along with Freya's armor set and the Verdigris armor set. And I mentioned that I found it a bit weird that we got Lita's chest piece, but that was it. But looking at it, I think Lita's chest piece is part of the Oathkeeper set. And the reason why I say that is, one, the helmet matches very well. And two, if you look at this thing on the chest, it's the same, like, rectangle marking. And so it seems like Lita's armor is the Oath Seeker Knight chest piece, just with a cape. Could be wrong about that, but as you can see, they're very similar, at least in terms of physical defense. Like, it's only 0.7, and I can see the, like, outer robe thing and cape giving 0.7, so seems like that. Though, without the Bull Goat's Talisman, you only have 44 poise, so you don't hit that 51 thresh mark. But, as you can see, I'm running with the Oathkeeper armor set, along with Lita's armor. So, new armor set, way less defensive, but it looks very cool. We're also running with Lita's sword and the Horned Warrior's greatsword, both up to +10 because they use Somber Stones. I also found this while exploring around. This isn't part of the last video, but it's part of this one. So I found it around here on the map. It was right on the main path. And it's a spear, but it has a unique moveset. And it pokes a lot, which is cool. And it reads, a metal-bodied spear of extremely lightweight make, being the result of a sophisticated molding technique, capable of swift consecutive attacks. And the second thing, you may notice I have the Spelldrake Talisman +3. And you see, starting from here, the castle front side of Grace, if you head off to the left and make your way through the trees, you can quickly drop down here and make a U-turn back off to the right. And past these two bats, you can run a bit further into here, and this is where I picked that up. And you might be wondering why I'm way back here at Castellensis if we were just doing Ymir Ilim. And And that's because there was a boss here, and I... Oh yeah, that NPC. But I didn't feel like doing a boss just yet, because we finished up Alita's quest, and there was a mandatory fight there where we went up against Freya, the Verdigris guy, Moore, I think his name was. We went against Dryleaf Dane, still don't know where his armor set is, by the way, and Alita. So we went up against 4 NPCs in a single fight, wrapping up all of their quest lines. I went back to here, by the way, and Talia wasn't there, and I couldn't find him anywhere. I went over here where he was before, he wasn't there, so I don't know where he's at. But it really feels like we're ramping up and leading towards the end. And so I really wanted to find this area, this thing, find out how to get here for that thing and whatever is here, along with how to get up here. And same with here and here. And I found precisely none of them. What I did find was, starting from High Road Cross, if we went forward and left here, instead of dropping down into the water like I usually was, if we went around to the right side, we could make it here, to the Scadutree West site of Grace. Which, at first, just seemed like another normal random site of Grace. Nothing special about it. We're about to head into nighttime. Which, as much as I love nighttime, it is more difficult to see, so we can wait until morning to have more light. And seeing as we have the +3, we can drop the +2. But yeah, before we head on, just saying, got a new DLC based sword and great weapon and armor set. So we're now rocking the DLC look a lot more than we were. But off here, just slightly to the west of the Scadutree West side of Grace, there's this drop down that you can take. And another drop down here. And another drop down here. And that gets you access to this area with a Stake America. Fog Rift Fort. Now, I assumed this was part of Castellensis, since it's got the same architecture and is right next to Castellensis. And so I assumed this was just an extended part of that. We can summon here, by the way. But it seems it is not. It seems as though this is its own area, which I really was not expecting. I mean, it's got like it's got the same architecture and enemies. So it's functionally an extension of Castellensis, especially since they're right next to each other. But it's got its own name. Right. And down there is the Fog Rift Catacombs, and these guys were throwing fire and stuff at us as we tried to head through it. Hello. Also, yes. Light greatswords, just as their older sibling in the greatsword, they both have one thing in common, and that is... Well, he exploded into an item. That's nice. But they both have one thing in common, in that they are both great. A lot of fire attack things pointed this way. Oh, look at that, we can go around. Easy. No problem whatsoever. I don't know which way is the way to go, though. Like, I don't know what's the way of progress and what's the way of items. I very much prefer going the way of items first and going the way of progress last. Oh, hi. But yeah, before I was using the Blasphemous Blade and the Icon Shield, and I still have the Icon Shield, but I'm going to try to prioritize St. Trina's Torch for now. And I don't have the Blasphemous Blade. But I still didn't approach that with any kind of strategy or tactfulness. I just forward and light attack. And it worked, and I'm full health. So, like I said, been saying it for the past few parts, but I feel like the difficulty of the DLC is extremely inconsistent, with most of the areas and enemies being too easy, and then a few bosses being a bit too difficult. Mostly in the damage compartment. Like, the aggression and whatnot is fine. But here we got the Serpent Flail. It is a dexterity, faith-based, tiny bit of strength, based flail with physical and fire damage. A flail with coiled snakes for bludgeoning heads. Fire roars within the snake's bodies, inflicting horrible burns. Some of Mesmer's armies use these flails to burn horn scent, to brand them with agony and fear. Unique skill, Flare, O Serpent. Ignites a flame inside the snakes, temporarily empowering flame attacks. Once ignited, strong attacks and other moves strike the ground will cause an explosion. So, that's the normal light attack. That's the heavy attack, and then charged heavy. Backstep light. Rolling light. Running light. Running heavy. Jumping light. Jumping heavy. And then two-handed. The light combo. Tapping the heavy and then holding the heavy. Jumping light. Jumping heavy. Backstep. Roll. Running light. Running heavy. And then we can move over to this, and we can... Okay, so... The Flare O Serpent costs 8 FP. And it gives you 1 explosive fire attack. Interesting idea. I don't know if that's the normal moveset or not, because I don't use flails. And I see a knight over there. Oh, the knight's moving. Oh, the knight's coming outside. Ho ho ho. Time to pull out the heavy weapon. Can I stab you in the back? I can stab you in the back. Oh, this is a boss. Ew. Alright, Black Knight Garrew. Nice. There was an explosion over there. I don't know if... Oh, there's an enemy. Yeah, so I'm gonna back up because I don't... I'm going to assume that's both an incantation and a grab attack. Nice. Alright, so this weapon is really good at stance breaking then. And if you look, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So, we can kill this guy. 80,000 runes. And the black steel great shield as a guaranteed drop. Nice. So, 100 physical, 57 magic, 59 fire, 55 lightning, 84 holy, so... And then 69 guard boost. So good for physical, holy, and guard boost. And then magic, fire, and lightning are all serviceable, but not great. Weighty shields carried by the Black Knights, servants of Mesmer the Impaler, made of black steel with decorative embellishments in gold, symbolic of their iron conviction in their crusade. The Black Knights will never yield, nor will they ever doubt their purpose. And then skill shield bash. Very cool. Very nice. I'm not going to use it, but that sounds good. And also very cool description. Right. 8 smithing stone 7. Nice. Now, again, the tongue thing, I'm assuming that's an incantation that acts as a grab attack. And for this, I'm assuming that... Yeah. I'm assuming that one of... Well, I'm assuming that this enemy saw me, tried to throw a firebomb, and blew himself up. And then that attracted that second guy. But I backed up, so he wouldn't see me. But... Cool. Moving on. The Black Knights are probably... I mean, I don't have nearly as much experience fighting them as I do with the other knights. So... I don't want to say with full confidence, but it feels like they're my favorite knight to fight. Ooh, we can jump out onto that, probably. Cool. But, like I said, they feel like my favorite knight, because a lot of the other knights, you can just, like, two-hand a greatsword and just run at them, and then pure aggression, and that works. Arrow's Soaring Sting Talisman. Increases the effective range of bows and raises attack power of arrows and bolts. Alright, so this is like the arrow sting and arrows range. I don't remember what it's called. But it's like a 2-in-1 talisman. Very nice. A talisman composed of fletched and iron arrows. Increases the effective range of bows and increases attack power of bows and bolts. That's cool. I don't know if it'll be enough to change people's minds about bows, but I've said before, I really hope there's an Elden Ring 2 and they kind of smooth over some things, make the balancing better and whatnot. Yeah, like I said, you can just two-hand a big weapon, pure aggression, and that works against the other knights, like the base game knights, the Godric the Godric knights, the Ryukaria knights, Radahn knights, so on and so forth. And if your weapon is big enough, it can work against the Black Knights here as well. But it's still a lot harder, and it's still way riskier. And I appreciate that. Because it's not just a run forward, smack the enemy forehead. It's like you actually have to think and react and dodge and have decent timing. And I like that a lot. And they might be my favorite version of the Black Knight. Like, out of Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring. Though, in all three games, they're really good. I don't know if Dark Souls 2 has them or not. But this gets you hefty oil pot. That takes 3 dew gems and 3 white flesh mushrooms. So good to see that dew gems are useful for something, because I really like dew gems, but outside of that, well, I mean, even that's not good, because oil pots are kind of useless, but still. Glad I found this. It took way too long. But yeah, without the enemy I can show this now. So you press L2, you get those two. Press it again, you get those two. Press it again, you get those two. So it's like the Storm Caller. I don't know if I have it. I don't think I do, but it's like the Storm Caller Ash of War, but unique to this weapon, and it might have a bit more range, might have a bit more damage. Don't know, haven't tested any numbers on that, but it's pretty cool. Is that an item down there? It is, but it's just from a guy. But still, this area, small, optional, but I'm glad I found it. I'm gonna keep looking for areas. Like I said, really want to find this area. Really want to find that. Really want to find this section, and really want to find out how to get up here before continuing on with the story. So hopefully I'll find those, and I'll see if I do. Okay, so family is awake and downstairs, so I'm sorry if there's any noise, and I might have to abruptly cut this. But very important development. I was going through the Elak River Cave, going through this underwater, or in between the ravine section at the bottom, and here there's a crab. To the left of that, here on the map, is a cave. One that I have never seen before. Mind you, this is like my 4th time running through here. So, don't know how I missed Rivermouth Cave every time, but I did. And Smoles are gonna die. And as you can probably tell, I'm not really trying. Because I know that Scadutree Talisman and Taker's Cameo will carry me through. And I can pull out the Icon Shield if I really need to. I saw the second wolf trying to be sneaky and hide. But it won't work. Nuh-uh. So the enemies are just wolves. Yeah, it really seems like it's just gonna be wolves. So the enemies aren't new or impressive or anything like that. The ground is gonna collapse, I can see that. Because you can see the, like, seam or line going all around. And also there's cracks in the middle. And yeah, I was about to say, in the base game, you can kind of step on it and then jump off. And it works. Good to see you can still do that. But even though the enemies aren't new or unique or interesting or anything like that, Sanguine Amaryllis, grown by Bloodfiends in pools of blood. You can pause and read that. They look very nice. I'm assuming these are Bloodfiends. Okay, I've been calling them like trolls and orcs and stuff like that. That's a 3-shot. Yeah, these enemies really don't have enough health. And I can see Boss Fog down. So... Hi. But yeah, as I've been trying to say, enemies not unique or that interesting or complex. But the area itself is. Because we haven't really seen a cave that looks like this. This just leads to a dead end, okay. Yeah, we haven't seen a cave that looks like this before. We've seen similar, but not the same. And the ones that have been similar looking to this have been extremely simple. Like the very first cave that you run into. And it's basically like a hallway, a room, a hallway, boss, and the boss is just a normal enemy in a later part of the game. And so... Oh. That's nearly a one-shot, wow. Like, we did a guard counter, and it nearly one-tapped the enemy. Like... guys need more health. They really do. I don't want to, like, touch the blood and attract all of them. I don't know. So we got the attention of 2. He's screaming, that's probably not a good thing. Apparently not a bad thing either, because these enemies do not care. Although now we're getting more into like an inner circle, so it's going to be harder to get the attention of 1 to 2 of them at a time. That's fine. Yeah. The reason I stood up instead of backstabbing is because I thought backstabbing is an attack, and attacks gain a decent bit of attention. Whereas if I just stand up next to the enemy, that doesn't count as an attack, but it gains a little bit of attention. Right, it looks like he's doing something. That's a blood tornado. Good to see, good to see. How you doing? I'm sorry for interrupting you through that attack. That was very rude of me. Alright, yeah, so this weapon, the Horned Warrior's Greatsword, performing very well. I'm thinking I still prefer the Blasphemous Blade because of the HP regen. But if Blasphemous Blade didn't have HP regen upon kills, or if this did, or if this had something else to it, I'd probably prefer this. Whoa there, buckaroo. Alright, so L2 did not work to stun this guy. However, jumping R2 did. And you're dead. Oh, we're building up blood. Alright, so 80,000 runes and Bloodfiend Hexer's Ashes. Alright, so this costs 500 HP instead of FP. Starting from the 4th line of this spirit conducts blood boon rituals with a sacred spear, casts blood flame hexes, and takes a singular pleasure in letting the blood of foes. Long ago, a subjugated tribe discovered a twisted deity amongst the ravages of war, and they were transformed into blood fiends. The Mother of Truth was their savior. Okay. Well, this is a return to entrance, which is not what I want. I was looking to get up onto here or into here. So, glad that I found the cave. Spirit Ash seems cool. I hope it's stronger than the enemies, because the enemies are very weak. If if that's actually where this is in terms of elevation, then that's crazy. Kinda don't think it is, though. But anyways, I'm going to keep looking for a way to get here, because that's my goal right now. Mushroom Cellar's Bell Bearing 1. So, right here on the map, like, if you head out of the Rivermouth Cave and head to the right, then there was a, like, little pot barrel thing. I think pot is more descriptive, or more accurate. And I just pulled out a bow and I shot it down. I didn't expect anything out of it, but we got the Mushroom Peddler's Bell Bearing 1, which allows you to purchase mushrooms and red flesh mushrooms. And it was right here. The Death Cliff is right here, so turn around from that and just here on the left. Good to see. Doesn't help us in our trek to get to here, though, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, there you are. The exalted timbre of the bell has reached these ears of mine. Gracious, the starry sky is wondrous tonight indeed. Only your fate shines brighter. Now, these are for you.
Ruins Map 2nd and Beloved Stardust.
Think nothing of it. I have made my decision to be of help. May the gleaming stars guide you evermore. I fear that you have borne witness to the whole of it. The conceits, the hypocrisy of the world built upon the Erdtree. The follies of men. Their bitter suffering. Is there no hope for redemption? The answer, sadly, is clear. There never was any hope. They were each of them defective, unhinged from the start. Marika herself, and the fingers that guided her. And this is what troubles me. No matter our efforts, if the roots are rotten, then we have little recourse. Ever young Mikola saw things for what they were. He knew that his bloodline was tainted, his roots mired in madness. A tragedy if ever there was one. That he would feel compelled to renounce everything when the blame lay squarely with the mother.
Oh, so Glintstone Nail and Glintstone Nails both take 12k. Glintstone Nail takes 18 intelligence and costs 10 FP. Glintstone Sorcery of Count Ymir, High Priest, one of the finger sorceries said to have been discovered in a hallowed ruin. Fling a magic nail that crumbles during flight. Charging it increases potency. Count Ymir boasts that it is mere child's play, an echo of the greater truth. And then, same description, but Nails takes 32 intelligence and 23 FP. So I'm gonna buy these, and these are the ones that the snake guys in the finger runes use. So that's cool.
May the gleaming stars guide you evermore.
Back to old runes received, check in inventory. Right, so shortens casting speed for sorcery and incantation by the utmost, but increases damage taken. A talisman depicting a wizened hand gently gripping a glintstone shortens casting speed for sorcery and incantations by the utmost, but increases damage taken. Count Ymir was known for his recitations. One need only envision the romance of the stars above with adoration for stardust in one's heart to become a great sorcerer. Do so, and you will know love. Alright, so this is a talisman. Very similar to Radigan. Radigan icon. But I'm going to assume even more... Like, it cuts down casting time even more, but at the cost of taking increased damage. I wonder if they stack. I don't know. But then... Ruins map second. A simple old map, faded and dirty, acquired from Count Ymir, High Priest, indicates another hallowed ruin apart from the one shown on the first map. May thy gleaming stars guide you evermore. So the second one is here. But it said that it would show up on the map. I wonder where that would be. I know that it's up at the top right, but I also know that with FromSoft, if you're trying to get somewhere, looking very close to it probably isn't the way to go. Because they knew, like, FromSoft knows how to do tomfoolery with a map. Which is kind of insane considering this is their first game with a map. But in terms of, like, level and world design, they are the masters of tomfoolery in the best possible way, so... I don't know where to look. Because I know that he wants me to go here, I just don't know how he would get to here. Like, there's a bridge here, but... I've looked here, I've looked here, I've looked here, I've looked here. Like, I've looked all around this. And have yet to find a way to get up here. So... Like I said... I will... continue to keep looking. If I actually get anywhere... Nobody knows. I'm gonna cry. It was an illusory wall. Rabbath's rise here. I don't even know what compelled me to smack the wall. Whoa, 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 where are we going? I don't know, but I don't like it. I was so certain we were gonna die there. I was so convinced that was death. Aha! Okay. That took forever and a half to figure out. And it doesn't get us nearly high enough to get up there. Well, we got Rabbath's Cannon. And that is a ballista, does physical and magic damage. A type of jar cannon used to fire great bolts, a masterwork of spell machinist Rabbath. So he works on magic and machines, okay. The power of the glintstones that encircle the barrel imbues bolts with magic damage and guide shots towards their targets. Alright, so not only does it do magic damage, but it has homing shots as well. Interesting. I don't know if there are any magic great bolts. If there are, it would probably work best with magic great bolts. But, okay. I tried so many different things to find this. Like, there's a cross on the map. I went over there, I went over here, 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 went over here. There were 3 turtles around, and I went, well, sometimes if there's a trick, then you have to Like, find and kill the turtles, so I killed the turtles. And I was going through, doing one last sweep, and I went, watch it be something stupid like an illusory wall. And boom, it was an illusory wall. That took way too long. Especially for just being a thing that shoots things. A ballista. Oh. Exploring around, I'm finding so many things, and I'm gaining so much knowledge. How to get to any of these areas that I'm trying to get to? Not any of the knowledge. But we're gaining knowledge, and that's good. Anyways, so, here on the map, also in Morth Ruins, I killed some random shadow enemy holding a pot, and got a Scadutree Fragment. Don't know why Scadutree Fragments are being held by random basic enemies, but got one from them. And here on the map, I saw Stake America, another Scadutree Fragment, and there's something behind them. Some enemies. Which I'm not super concerned with the Miranda enemies, since we've seen a ton of them. And, like, they're all over the base game. Not too concerned with these enemies either, but I figured it's better to kill them. Heal from afar. This requires 18 faith and 45 FP. Greatly heals HP for distant allies the spell reaches. An Erdtree incantation discovered in the realm of shadow fires a projectile toward distant allies that greatly restores HP on contact. Even when far out of sight, the Erdtree will surely give us its blessing. So that's just like a thing you throw at your enemy, or your teammate, and it heals them. Cool. Also, we're finally here. I don't know how much time we have, because this part so far has been just like a collection of small clips of me going around. Because, like, I don't want to spend like 4 or 5 hours just sniffing around, finding nothing, or finding those like very small things, but they're too few and far between, and they're not relevant enough to actually like warrant spending that much time. Okay. Ooh. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If I wanted one thing, just one thing out of the DLC, it would be a talisman that gives you horse poise. Which might sound weird, but Torrent is not made for combat in the slightest. Like I said, a 4-mile-per-hour breeze can stun lock you. So you take even the tiniest hit, and you just have to sit there and hope that the enemy falls asleep. And you might say, okay, well, just don't use Torrent for combat then. Like, easy solution. But what if you're in a poison swamp? It's like, alright, you're just forced to get poisoned then. Or what about enemies that have a horse? It's like, alright, they get a horse, but you don't. Like, it's not too bad. It's not like a major issue, but it's very noticeable. Okay, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Whew. Birds are not friendly. It's kind of weird because that's the only time I've ever even remotely had the concept of these birds being a problem. Because every fight before this has just been, they go into the air, I smack them, they fall down, and then even if I miss my next, like, 3 attacks, it just doesn't matter because they're just going to be stun locked for so long laying on the ground that it doesn't mean anything. Really hoping we can get down towards that. We'd probably have to go this way and then down and around, though. Yeah. See, like here. Birds just, you hit them once, they get stun locked. Gray bird anklets. Or so we finally have the full gray bird set. Good. We got the first piece in like part 1, maybe part 2. And it took all the way up until here to get the final piece. So it's really spread out. Okay, but yeah, it kind of seems like these birds are a very hit or miss enemy in terms of difficulty. Yeah, look at that. I hit them down and then was able to fully kill the first one before moving on to them. And they still just couldn't do anything. That's what I mean. It's either they can't do anything or you can't do anything. Rao base. Didn't know that's what it was going to be called, but that's what I've been looking for forever. So, gonna get this Site of Grace. And again, I don't know how long this has been going on because it's been so scattered, but we can get another one of these. Still takes 3, that's good. And here, what I've noticed is I either have to choose between strength for the big weapon or dexterity mainly for Lita's sword, but it's kind of 50-50. Like, strength, I only get 1 point in Lita's sword, but I get 4 in the curved greatsword. But for dexterity, I get 4 in Lita's sword, but only 2 in the curved greatsword. Which is a bit oof. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. So in the top right, it says attack power 1,275. But here it says 645. That really threw me off because I was like, wait, 645? I remember holding onto the Blasphemous Blade and it said like 1,200 or 1,400. Like 1,599 here. Alright, but that's why there's that massive gap. It's because this shows what the actual damage is, whereas in the stats menu, the over 1,000, that's with the Scadutree blessings. Okay. But still, here, there's only a 21 point difference between our light weapon and our heavy weapon. That's... oof. But I kind of want to go towards this. Like, I kind of want to go into strength because it'll help the big weapon do more damage. And the big weapon should do the big damage. But I kind of want to go more into dexterity because that's the lower stat, and also it'll even things out more. And I'm using the smaller weapon more now as I'm going purely DLC weapons. But it's like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm gonna go strength. That's it, we've committed. We're going to strength. Oh, fire. I think that's a fire dog and a soldier. Okay, but again, don't know how... I saw the rocks there with the enemy, and I thought that was like a massive, like, werewolf or something. Thankfully, no, it's just rocks. But, yeah, I've been recording for like 2 hours, I think. Or I've been playing for like 2 hours, and I've just been hitting the record button whenever I find something. So I don't actually remember what was put into this. But I remember I got Rivermouth Cave. Right next to that, I got a Mushroom Seller's Bellbearing 1 for mushroom and red flesh mushroom. I got Beloved Stardust and Glintstone Nail and Glintstone Nails. I got Rabbath's Cannon. We got Heal from Afar. We got Greybird Anklets. And we made it to the Ancient Ruins base. That's leading us away from this. Still don't know how to get to this, but who knows. Either way, I think I'm going to end it here because I don't think I have much time. Oh yeah, we're also putting the Fog Rift Fort into this, which took up like 20 minutes. So, we're probably at like 30 to 50 minutes. So this might be a bit of a shorter part, but I don't want to have like 10 to 30 minutes for a whole new area like this. I'd rather this have its own entire part. So, kind of a mix match, like check mix part, but I did learn quite a bit, and it was fun to just lay back, relax, and just explore. And I'd encourage you to do the same. Just take a break from the bosses, and like, as great as the legacy dungeons are, they're very dense. Like they're just packed. Whereas if you roam the open world there's a lot less to do, but it gives you a lot more time to breathe and just take in the scenery, so I'd suggest doing that every once in a while. But with that being said, yeah,